Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Dan and Alice here from Plant Abundance on YouTube, here in the backyard food forest on this beautiful Saturday evening here in the middle of July, summertime. We're doing a bit of harvesting, and right now we're collecting some seed pods off of our fava bean plants. This is a very rare variety of fava bean known as Cuskin Super Yellow. As far as I know, there's nobody offering these seeds online at this time. So I'm pretty fortunate to have got these seeds when I did. They come from Peru. Alice, you want to open up the pod and show them what the seeds look like?
Yes. Yellow.
Beautiful.
And healthy, right?
Yeah. So we started with just 10 seeds, and now we are able to collect hundreds, if not thousands, every year without even really trying. These plants self-seed because they always drop a few that we don't collect. So we get a lot of volunteers every year. And then we also plant them out ourselves. Here's another little fava bean patch. You can see they're ready to go. We could have harvested these even a little earlier. They've started to drop on the ground already, but you can see once the pod becomes crispy and dark in color, they're really easy to harvest. But these are the kind of crops that we love growing, something you could start with just a few seeds and proliferate the plant out and be grown in abundance of food crops in a short amount of time. Here I want to show you another fun crop that everyone should try growing, and that is the ground cherry. Here's one of the plants, just a volunteer, comes up every year. But this plant is great. It produces an abundance of these delicious little berries. They look like little tomatillos, and when they're ready, they will drop on the ground. But this is a fun plant to add to a food forest garden, especially because it's going to readily reseed and produce an abundance of these berries for you. It's pretty drought tolerant too. For the most part, I don't even care for these plants, but I'll show you the berry. Here we go. Really delicious. I'll open this little one up and just crack it open so you can see the seeds that are in here. Lots of little seeds. You can see the hugelkultur trellis here is still filling in. We've got some Calabash Gourds now that are growing. We already harvested 2 of these so far this season, had some nice delicious meals. The Rattlesnake Beans here, we're letting the remainder of these pods dry so we can collect seeds and grow a lot more of those plants next year. Mixed in to these bean plants, we got like the Armenian Cucumber, which is crawling its way up through these vines and is going to take over soon. Over on this side as well, we've got plenty of cherry tomatoes, the Sweet 100. And mixed in and vining up behind some of these plants, we've got a Loofah Gourd here, which vines up and goes crazy. So that should be filling up this side. But really, we just kind of set this and forget it. We do a little bit of hand watering from time to time. So things are a little bit dry out here right now, but we're still happy with the results we get for the amount of input that we're putting in. It really is a big payback. Here's a young little fruit tree with some delicious fruits. This is the Sweet Z nectar plum. A cross between a plum and a nectarine. Very delicious fruit. Got a lot of pomegranates here on this wonderful variety of pomegranate. That is the name, wonderful. And both of these jujube trees have really taken off this year. There's a lot of flowering. Looking forward to a harvest of jujubes real soon. Also, our Asian pear tree here is looking really nice. Loaded down with fruit. Apples are getting close. We got the Fuji and a Granny Smith over here. So this right here I want to share especially for anyone who's bought any of my perennial green seed packs. By the way, I still do have the perennial tree collard and kale seed mix available. If you're interested, check the link below. It's a PayPal link. Any debit or credit card will work. But after your plant flushes out with flowers and then creates seed pods, you can cut that away, and this is what starts to happen. You can see all along the stem here, all these new plants starting to shoot up. So once you get to this stage, you can just leave it be and it'll start to flush out and create nice, large, edible leaves once again. But if you want to start to take some cuttings off of your plants and produce exact clones of the mother plant that you're growing, all you're going to do is go to one of these new plants that's growing and cut where you've got at least 5 or 6 new leaves starting to form, because in the crook of each one of those leaves is a node. And I'll just pull a couple of these off so you can see where a new branch is going to start to form there. So you can just pluck off those leaves and just leave a couple at the top like this. And you see I made a diagonal cut at the bottom, and now you've got yourself a beautiful cutting, a clone of that mother plant. You can put this in a little 1-gallon pot with some potting mix, or you can put it directly into the ground. Just make sure you keep it shaded and well watered until you start to see some new growth occur where you get some good rooting. So I do suggest starting your cuttings in some pots or even play sand. I've made a video on starting cuttings in sand before as well, but it's that easy. So here's some of my biochar potting mix that I recently made, and you'll just stick that in like so. Be careful that you don't break the stem when pushing it in. You could make a hole before you shove it down in there. You could also use a bit of rooting hormone, or you can make your own rooting hormone using willow water or even aloe vera gel, honey, lots of different options, store-bought stuff as well. And this is all you need to do. Now I'm going to put this in a mostly shaded area, a little bit of dappled sun, again, until I start to see some nice fresh new growth start to come on. And I'm not going to transplant this out anywhere until I notice we got some fresh roots starting to grow out the bottom of these holes. Then I know it's ready to go. So I'm going to set this aside over here in the shade. You can see I've got some little sand pots here that are ready for some cuttings as well. But this is going to get mostly shade. If I notice that it needs a little bit more sun, I may transfer it out later in the evening from time to time. But I'll give you an update on this cutting in the near future, so stay tuned for that. So that's it for now, everybody. Just a quick check-in video. It's been a few days since we've updated you guys, and we just wanted to say hello. So we hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. Until next time, this is Dan
and Alice
from plantabundance.com. Take care. We'll be talking to you again soon.